Hi guys, so in this video I will be unboxing the Canon RF 70-200 f2.8 lens. Now, if you know anything about this lens, you know that this thing is quite pricey, extremely pricey. I was very much iffy about the price when I first considered getting this lens, but I debated between many lenses for a very long time. And in the end, when it came down to price, weight, size, usability, all of that type of stuff, availability even, all of that type of stuff, this one kind of won out. The one that it lost from every time, obviously, was the price. But overall, weight, size, availability, usability, it kind of topped most of them. When I was getting this lens, I was considering also the Tamron 70-180 because, again, it is much smaller than the Tamron 70-200, Sigma 70-200, Canon 70-200, all of those. So I said I can spare the last 20 millimeters if it means having a much smaller lens that is a bit more usable, you know, but I couldn't get it for Canon mount for some reason. I even looked into adapters and I just couldn't find adapters because it was made for Sony E. I also looked into the Tamron 35-150 f2 to 2.8, but they didn't make that one for Canon. They made a 2.8 to 4, and they stopped making that for Canon because that does seem like that would be a good all-around lens. Like, I could put that on for a wedding and I probably wouldn't have to take it off the whole day. So I really looked into getting that one. I even had an order placed at a store that said that they did sell it, but then they emailed me and said they did not have it in stock. And then I called another store because it said they did have it on their website, and I called and they said they would have to special order it from Tamron, and it said it could take like 6 months up to, and because of what I'm kind of doing, I need this lens a little bit sooner than 6 months. Debating between all of the 70-200s, which are much larger and a bit heavier than this, plus I would also have to add an adapter, which would make it even longer, but they are cheaper, or spend the extra like $800, which is a lot of money, but spend the extra $800 and ditch the adapter, have an overall shorter lens, have it be about a pound lighter than the average 70-200 from other brands, even Canon's EF, and, you know, have it just be, you know, an overall really nice, sharp lens. I decided to bite the bullet and go for this one. So there is my very long explanation as to why I bought this. I guess we can start unboxing it. I just want to let you guys know I have pretty much unboxed the whole thing. I just wanted to do that just in case, you know, something was up with it. I even put it on my camera already just to be sure. I just wanted to be sure before I made this video and something was wrong with it. But it's fine. So everything is fine. And so now we can get unboxing this thing, because I'm sure you guys have been waiting for that. Open it from here. I have already opened up this whole thing, that's why it is terribly folded, but yes. So the people that drive in my area are such kind drivers. They're very considerate about noises, so they like to drive nice and quietly, you know, at the average speed, so they're not driving too loud. They're very considerate. I love my neighborhood. There is this bag. Now, typically for 70-200s, you would receive that kind of big fabric bag that was like about this high or so, and you would put your lens in that bag itself. But I guess Canon decided that this lens was small enough that it wasn't really needed, but they still wanted to include a bag. I overall am not disappointed about it, just because this lens will be in my camera bag all the time when it's not on my camera, so having a separate bag for the lens would not really be necessary for me, because I don't want to be carrying my camera bag and a lens separate. But this is the bag. This is the bottom of it. It says the lens model, or the bag model number on there. Realistically, I don't see myself using this bag too much, just because my overall kit is quite small. I have my camera, which is a mirrorless, so it is just a little bit smaller than a DSLR, so I do save some space with that. Then I also have a 50mm 1.8, which is that little dinky lens. My adapter usually stays on that, so then it makes it about this big instead. And then I have my 24-105 f4 to 7.1, and that one is usually always on my camera just because I'm filming a lot. It's that or my 50 that's always on my camera. And then I have a 55 to 250, which I never use because it's f4 to 7.1, and I just never use it because I don't know. I just never do. I got it in a deal when I got my first DSLR. And then, okay guys, we're already at the big part of the unboxing. Okay. Before we unbox this part, we can check out the lens hood first. So let's remove this box. Move this out of the way. Here's the lens hood. There's some foam in it. It's wrapped in plastic. And then this is it. Now, I believe that this little thing here is for filters, like ND filters and such. I think so you can like adjust them while they're on the lens. I don't really use ND filters. I know I probably should. It'd probably be quite useful. I know ND filters are quite useful, but I don't have any and I don't use any, so I won't probably need this. The only filters I have on my lens are like UV filters, just like lens protectors, essentially. I actually bought one for this, but I didn't bring it out with me because I'm in my camper. Here is the lens. I'm not a fan of keeping lenses on their lens caps there. I like having them on the dust caps more, where this would attach right to the camera, just because I don't like the pressure. Because I have had lens caps actually get stuck to the lens itself. It's not a nice thing to happen, so I try to avoid putting pressure on these whenever possible. So as you can see on here, it comes with, I think this is like a collar, something like that, and this is just what you would put on a tripod if you were to be maybe using this lens for quite a while, or you needed something to be quite steady. Just in case this is a little bit more front heavy, you would put this on the tripod instead of the camera. My apologies for the noise, the fridge just turned on. But you would put this on the tripod instead of the camera, just because then you would have a bit more stabilization, because the camera is not going to be as heavy as the lens. So that's what this is for. I don't plan on really utilizing that, so I probably will take this off. When you first get the lens, there is going to be a lock that is switched on. It did scare me quite a bit when I could not, you know, zoom in my lens, so I was quite fretful. But my mother was like, is there a lock? Because she actually has sense. And so I found the lock. Just push that down, and then you can zoom in. I believe that this one is the focus ring and then this is the control ring. I'm not sure if that is correct. I'll have to double check. But the focus ring is obviously for manual focus. This control ring is so you can adjust things like your aperture or your ISO or stuff like that, I'm pretty sure. I like to do all of my setting changes just on the back of my camera. There is also a stabilizer. It is really great to have lens image stabilization because my camera body, the Canon EOS R, does not have that. And so because my camera does not have that, then it is really useful to have it in the lens, so then I have at least some type of image stabilization. Now I will remove the lens cap and you guys can take a peek inside. This is what it looks like. This side I like to be obviously much more careful with because you really don't want dust getting in there. So that's going to be all for this part of the video. Tomorrow I'm going to be putting this lens on my camera body, which is the Canon EOS R. and I will be doing some test shots and you guys can look at those. I hope you guys enjoyed the unboxing part. I'm not very techie. I love cameras, I love lenses, whatever. But when it comes to all the teeny tiny little details. Also, I forgot to mention this thing is 2.3 pounds, I'm pretty sure, which is pretty much a whole pound lighter than the EF. And this thing already is like, it's obviously not like light. I'm not used to lenses with this type of weight, so to me this isn't light, but I'm glad because I don't know if I could really deal with much heavier and much longer. Because like then you would have to have your hand out to about here with your camera body back here. With this though, you can have it back here. I don't know. Give me your guys' input. What do you guys think about this lens? Maybe don't hate on it too much, because I did invest a lot of money into this and I don't know if I want to think about the downsides of it. To me, there are no downsides, and there won't ever be any downsides because I've invested too much money into this. So, yes, okay, I'm sorry for rambling too much. Thank you guys so much for watching this part of the video. Now let's skip on to tomorrow where you guys can look at some raw photos as well as edited, because I like editing photos. So I'll edit them for you guys as well and you guys can just see them in my edit as well.